Hey everyone, Chris Stoltz coming at you once again from the Muppet Stuff Museum, and today I have some really rare items to show you. Okay, we're going to start off with some international items. First up is this Kermit the Frog bucket hat. This was released by a company called Zing and only released in Australia. As you can see, it features an image of Kermit on the front with his collar around the sides, while the inside features clip art of Miss Piggy, Animal, and Kermit. Miss Piggy and Animal are sort of recessed in the background and not as colorful as they normally would be, but since Kermit is the featured Muppet on this item, he is there in all his green glory. And while this isn't a vintage item, it was recently released in 2023. Because it was only released in Australia, I included it into the rare category. And a shout out to my friend Peter who sent it to me. Another rare Kermit item also from Australia is this Kermit glass, a full-bodied image of Kermit on the one side, with him waving, with many silhouetted Kermits. The back of the mug also has a whole bunch of smaller silhouetted Kermits as well. I really like how in Kermit's name, they have Kermit space the frog, and in the space are his flippers. That's a really nice touch. You don't see that a whole lot on merch. Because of all the shadow Kermits, I'm going to call this the Shadow Kermit mug. Next up is another internationally exclusive Kermit. Here we have the Disney Shorts Kermit. They're sort of larger versions of Disney's Vinylmations. As you can see, Kermit's eyes are where Mickey's ears would be. He's got this giant smiling face. He has his collar. He's got his hands kind of like tucked off to the sides. It's a really neat figure. These are produced by Goma Enterprises, originally only released in Mexico, and then re-released as limited edition exclusives for Fan Expo Canada in 2019. Other characters in the line include Stitch, the Cheshire Cat, Genie, Icon Goofy, Icon Pluto, and an Icon Rainbow Mickey, with Kermit being the only Muppet released in the line. Here we have another international item, though this one not featuring Kermit. It's a small plush of Beaker released exclusively in Disney stores in the UK. I'm not sure when exactly this was released. It still has its Disney store exclusive hang tag, and the copyright says Henson on it. So that leads me to believe that it was sometime in the early Disney acquisition phase, maybe sometime early in 2004 or 2005. You don't see Beaker on merch very often, especially not in plush, so that makes this especially rare. This next set of items came from my buddy Chris in the UK. So here we have 4 Great Muppet Caper promotional buttons released in 1981 to promote the film. Kermit, Miss Piggy, and Fozzie with Miss Piggy in her Lady Holiday attire, Miss Piggy on her motorcycle, Miss Piggy wearing her outfit from Lady Holiday's swimwear collection, and a small version of the theatrical poster art. All were released by Phoenix Publications in London. Stepping aside from international items for just a little bit, we have some very rare and hard to find Muppet keychains featuring Rolf and Rizzo. These were released by Sun Kisses Hawaii in 1995 and were part of a much larger set of keychains and pencil toppers. This keychain features Rolf in a circular piano, and I really like the lines and the curves of the piano. It really gives some movement to the piece. Makes you really feel like he's rocking out. And while I already had the pencil top version, I didn't have the keychain. As far as I know, Rizzo was only released as a keychain and not a pencil topper. So here we see Rizzo coming through a box of pizza carrying a slice. The back says, "Rizzo's Pizza. You've tried the rest, now try the pest." I'm surprised they neither re-released these nor used that slogan at Pizza Rizzo in Disney World, which seems like a really missed opportunity. Another interesting thing about these keychains is, as you can see, these are still brand new and factory sealed in these bags, while others in the series were released on these cardboard hang tags. In 1997, Playfaces released a line of super soft and Lycra-like Muppet plush heads, including this one featuring Kermit. You can see he has got his collar there, he has all his tags, and what I really like about this line is at this particular time, for some reason, they changed the logo of the Muppets and they went with Muppets Inc., which was only used for a very limited time, between 1996 and 1998 in the UK. The logo features Kermit's face filling in the ink's C. These are super soft and you can squish them and they still retain their original shape. In 1990, Post-it released a line of Muppet Post-it notes designed by Henson creative director Craig Yo. So here we have It's For You featuring Kermit on a phone. Yes, kids, that's what we used to call a telephone back in the 90s. You had to have it plugged in at your house. And they were so big, you couldn't fit them in your pocket even if you wanted to. Which is why when you were out and the phone rang for you, whoever answered the phone would leave you a note telling you who called while you were gone. This set features Miss Piggy wearing a turquoise dress and headband that says, "Get a grip." Finally, we have this set featuring Miss Piggy in very high-end, late 80s, early 90s attire that says, "You can't please everyone, so just please me." Shouldn't that be, "So just please moi"? Just saying. In 2005, as part of Kermit's 50th anniversary celebration, Disney released this limited edition lithograph, which features the Muppet Show logo on the front of the envelope, which opens up to reveal the Kermit's 50th anniversary logo with a sheet of tissue paper with drawings of Kermit taken from the Muppet Style Guide protecting the print. While the print itself features Kermit as the Master of Ceremonies, which was part of a whole line of images featuring the characters as sideshow attractions. It's a really nice item and was sold exclusively through Disney. Also, for my friend Peter in Australia, was this Disney 100 Wonders trading card, which were only available and blind bagged at Australian Woolworths. Card number 36 features Kermit, which was the only Muppet card in the line. Peter wrote me a note saying, "Hi Chris, I remember that you did a video at a Disney exhibition looking for a Muppet item. Here is a card of Kermit making the Disney 100. Regards, Peter." That's right. I went to the Disney exhibition looking for Muppet items and there was barely anything there. You can watch that video in the links below, which features a lot of really cool stuff, but unfortunately, not a lot of Muppets. So I want to thank Peter once again for these amazing items. Last but not least, here we have a licensing brochure for Muppet Treasure Island that was released before the film was finished. From Jim Henson Productions, the next Muppet feature film epic, an adventure the likes of which the world has never known. And it features an illustration of Sweetums and some unnamed pirates, of which only Sweetums would appear in the final film. Inside the brochure is a pre-production image which features Fozzie looking at a telescope with a seagull looking back at him, Bunsen Honeydew and Beaker, Kermit at the helm as Captain Smollett, while we see Gonzo and Rizzo dueling underneath with spoons. Of course, there's also an early version of the Muppet Treasure Island logo with a shadowy Long John Silver in the background with a parrot. Of course, we know that role would be later cast with Tim Curry, and they wouldn't use a parrot, but a lobster.
Allow me to introduce my pet lobster, Polly.
Pieces of eight, pieces of eight.
But I thought sailors had talking parrots as pets.
Talking parrots.
Yeah, what an imagination.
The night winds howled across the moors and set 1,000 brittle branches clashing against the windows. To young Jim Hawkins, it sounded like the rattling sabers of some great pirate army surrounding the old Admiral Belbo Inn. Suddenly, above the storm, there came a terrible pounding on the ancient oak door. "Who's there?" he quaked. "Avast!" roared a voice. Jim shivered at the sound. Avast who? He could barely speak. A vast licensing opportunity awaits those wise enough to jump aboard the good ship Muppet Treasure Island. "Har har!" came the reply, and indeed, it does, as the Muppets embark on their grandest adventure yet. Production will begin at the end of this year for Spring-Summer 1994 wide theatrical release. Walt Disney Pictures has first look for theatrical distribution of the Muppet Treasure Island. The Muppet Treasure Island to be supported by a multi-million-dollar advertising and promotional campaign. Jim Henson Records to produce the soundtrack album, Muppet Press to publish a library of exciting Muppet Treasure Island books, Jim Henson Consumer Products to support the film with an aggressive merchandising program, Stars, 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 Kermit the Frog, Miss Piggy, Fozzie Bear, Gonzo the Great, Rizzo the Rat, and the whole Muppet gang to share the screen with a number of Hollywood stars, including a major star in the pivotal role of that great villain, Long John Silver. And when you flip it back over, it says The Muppet Treasure Island. Heist the mainsail and batten the hatches. Jim Henson's Muppets are hitting the high seas aboard the grandest swashbuckling pirate epic of all time, The Muppet Treasure Island. Filled with adventure, songs, sword fights, swordfish, and a most unusual crew of frogs, pigs, bears, and weird furry things, this exciting new Muppet voyage will surely set a high watermark for family entertainment. With Kermit the Frog at the helm, the Muppets clamber aboard Robert Louis Stevenson's time-honored tale of adventure and retell it in their own uproarious and inimitable style. The Muppet Treasure Island. Our Muppet heroes pitted against the most villainous pirates to ever sail the bounding main. Who wins? Audiences around the world, with Miss Piggy as Benjamina Gunn below. The back has the Muppet Treasure Island. For worldwide licensing and promotional opportunities, contact Jacqueline Parks at Jim Henson Productions. We also see Miss Piggy as 2 mermaids. And of course, if you open the whole thing up, it reveals to be a giant treasure map. The map is full of great little details like sea monsters, locations for the film, and an X marking the spot where the bulk of the treasure is. All designed by legendary Muppet illustrator Michael Frith. So that's going to do it for this look at some rare items. Please be sure to like and subscribe. Please leave a comment down below and let me know what your favorite item from this video was. Please be sure to follow us on all our social media channels, and I'll see you next time from the Muppet Stuff Museum.